Northwood's adventures began as a dream. Since early in our childhood, Nate and I have exercised our passion for the outdoors. Our fondest memories are from times spent afield with family, friends, and each other. These days we burn our memories to tape as we take inventory of our values and reload for the next phase of our life. Northwood's Adventures is dedicated to being the best mix of tradition and excitement. We travel the nation in an effort to film the kind of hunt that you, the viewer, want to watch. We hunt under the same conditions as our viewers, with the same results. Sometimes we celebrate success, and sometimes we are left with a hard lesson learned. Northwood's Adventures is made up of one of the most qualified pro staffs in the industry. These pros bring their A game every time they roll tape. So sit back and enjoy the ultimate in reality TV. Sponsored by Kidder Trading Post and Natural Predator. Thule Trailers and Rack Systems, Zeiss Precision Optics. Thermacell Mosquito Repellent and MBM Muzzle Loaders. Extreme Dimensions Wildlife Game Calls and Buckhole Outfitters. Also brought to you in part by Good afternoon, folks. Nate and I are shooting a little intro here in our home state of Maine. We're getting ready to set gear for the world's most not deadly catch, lobsters in Maine. It's summertime. Basically, we fish, catch lobsters, and edit footage. Today, we've been editing footage for the show that you're about to see. It's Iowa Big Bucks. I think you're really going to enjoy the father and son team, Jim and Rick Seavey. Nate, you've been out to Iowa a couple times. What's it like?
Iowa's actually an incredible state to hunt. Where Jim and Rick are on these particular hunts, they're J&S trophy hunts. I've had the privilege to hunt there a couple times. Absolute monstrous bucks out there. Steve really does his homework and really puts you on these big deer. Rick, he's had the opportunity of going out there and guiding a couple years now with him, and knowing where those big bucks are is a key to success. And this year on film, we're probably the luckiest film crew. We got a buck that was probably about 200 inches, and when we saw it, we just couldn't believe how big that deer was.
Makes you want to drop everything and move to Iowa.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
So sit back and enjoy the show.
Monster bucks leave monster sign. Look at this rub post that Rick's right next to.
That's a big rub.
Rick was one of our first pro staffs ever, and every year he consistently gets awesome footage from out in Iowa. I think you're going to enjoy this hunt.
All right, folks. We're here third week of November again with Steve Shoup, J&S Trophy Hunts. We crawled up in the stand this morning. I waited for good light here. We've had a tough week. The weather's gotten cold, but the deer movement has seemed to slow down for some reason. It's right peak of the rut. The deer that we are seeing, the big bucks, are hounding does everywhere. So should be a good hunt for us here, and let's hope for the best. We've had a tough week so far, so this morning's hunt should be good. So let's just stay tuned, and we'll see how the rest of the day goes. Hopefully we'll get something good on video.
Rick had been helping with the guiding at J&S, and when it was his turn to get in the stand, it wasn't long before the action started to heat up, and the big bucks were many.
Deer on the top of the hill. Deer on the top of the hill. Oh, it's a good buck. It's a good buck. He's gonna follow that trail right down in front of us. He's down. He's down. He just went over that big ditch down in there. Boy, he's a big deer. Not quite sure how big, but boy, he's a big deer. Came in with that other 10-pointer right there. I was getting ready to shoot the first 10-pointer. I looked behind him and geez, the second one was way bigger. Way bigger. I'm not quite sure how big, but he was a lot bigger. Boy, I've been a loyal supporter of a certain bow company for a while, and we just switched to these Bowtechs, man. I just drove that arrow right through his shoulder. That's not the best shot in the world, but you know what? I didn't have much to go by. It was real quick, you know, and sometimes you just need to make things happen. You can't get them if you don't shoot, but I put that arrow right behind that front shoulder there, and I think I caught a little bit of the leg bone, went right in there. It buried it all the way to the fletch. That's pretty impressive. That's some heavy bone in there, so, man, that's a big buck, though. That's a real
Brought to you in part by BargainTrophies.com. Find your next adventure. Gunzilla Gun Cleaners and TrophyPicks.com. Show everyone how good you really are.
This is a good blood trail right here. Definitely was heart shot, definitely. And down just over this other little dip here. Right up ahead. There he is, right there. Boy, he's a lot bigger than I thought. Well, folks, this is the end result of my hunt this year with J&S Trophy Hunts out here in Iowa. My God, I can't be any more pleased than this. This is a tremendous buck. This is way bigger than what I had anticipated finding. I'm actually half wondering if this is someone else's deer when I first got to it. Man, he looked good when he come down over that hill at me, but I wasn't anticipating this at all. This is tremendous. You know, Dad mentioned, he says, geez, he says, here comes a buck down over the top of that hill. He says, I can't see it real well. Why? Threw up the old Zeiss binoculars there. Had a look on top of that hill. I could see a buck, but wasn't quite sure how big it was. Well, it was the other guy that was with this one, which he was no slouch himself. He's probably 130, 135 inch maybe. I mean, he might have been a little less, but he was still a shooter buck. Then this boy comes down over the hill. I was getting ready to shoot the other 10-point. This one comes through the ditch at me.